What's up everyone, how's your 2010 going? Mecha here, going to find another high quality ROM hack to play. How about Encryption 20's reskin of Fire Emblem 8 The Sacred Stones? I know this one has to be good because it is officially recommended by Serenus Forest, the ultimate Fire Emblem resource, right alongside the latest translation patches for the otherwise Japanese only entries. Right before the opening cutscene, we can see some cutting-edge changes, such as Myrrh's portrait being replaced by Lynn's. An assassin warns King Fado that the castle is being invaded by Grado, so Fado tells his daughter Eirika to run away. She is grabbed by her loyal knights, Sector. Sector escapes the palace, but is quickly grabbed by a group of assassins. Literal assassins with shamshears. If you want to fight these with Eirika, I hope you're ready to dodge some 30% crits. Fortunately, Sector is more than up to the task and brought several silly weapons to one-shot them with. Sector is very interesting, and not just because he kind of looks like Hector who made a deal with the devil. According to the patch notes, he no longer controls the weapon triangle, but in fact Bro has an A rank in every weapon type, including axes, a weapon type that paladins cannot normally use in the FE8. There are no animations when Sector uses an axe, but he can use them, including the silver axe that he now joins with. I have Sector take out the two generics, which gives me like 60 experience each because these are promoted enemies, then I left the boss alive so I could feed him to Eirika. I could tell him apart from the generics because the boss has 20 resistance. What we just witnessed is as good of an introduction as you're going to get to Encryption 20's FE8. It's not just a perfect sample of the level of difficulty that this hack tries to add to the game, but also the limitations of hacking at the time. All most people could do was basically use Nightmare Editor to change numbers and flags around. We didn't have tools like FE Builder that we do nowadays. All they could really do was change the unit's stats or their growth rates, and maybe if they're lucky, insert an abomination of a portrait, but that's about it. But they still tried with those tools, and that's cool, and also really funny and strangely entertaining. I played through this whole thing back when it was relatively new, but that might be 10, 15 years ago, I'm honestly not sure, and it's really hard to find anything on the internet on this hack, other than the patch notes. And just recently I got the urge to replay it, so I streamed it to my patrons on my Discord server, and I just had a blast. Now in these videos, I might end up being a little mean to the hack. I might give the impression that I think it's all silly and bad, and Encryption did a bad job at making something compared to more well-known hacks like The Last Promise or Vision Quest, but this is a product of its time. Clearly this is just one person with limited tools, trying to make a harder version of FE8, and on their way they found a couple of neat things they could do, and decided to do them without thinking about it, and then they posted it online. It's honestly barely worse than something similar I've made, Troll FE, which I have done an entire Let's Play of. I know what it's like to work with Nightmare and to just kind of do whatever. It's a fun experiment. Just know that when I'm making fun of this, I'm doing it in jest, and it's in no way meant to be personal towards the maker. Instead, let's use it as an opportunity to both laugh and learn about Fire Emblem hacking and a bit of history. Okay, so we've beaten the prologue and we're in chapter 1. It's business as usual. Brigitte fights a perfectly normal Freelia mercenary and barely lives to tell the tale. Something seems to be wrong with his speed, but a quick soft reset puts it at the regular 31 like it's supposed to. On turn 2, Franz and Gilliam join. Gilliam is the same as his vanilla self, which means he is extremely awful. I swear this is not me being harsh on Gilliam, it's just that as you will see later, if you haven't been buffed in this hack, then you've been nerfed. Speaking of buffing and nerfing, this is Soldier Franz. When I got to him, I remembered from my first time playing that Franz is good, I just didn't exactly remember why. But I would like to read to you from the interesting patch notes that the creator of this hack has made. From version 0.7, Franz was turned into a playable soldier. Broken. Version 1.1, Franz was turned into a level 10 unit, stats toned down and growth rates toned down. Broken fixed. Broken fixed, problem solved, you would think. Except Franz did not get broken fixed because he is still level 1 when you play the game. It turns out that his level was changed in the character editor but not in the army editor, or what I used to know as the chapter unit editor. The level they changed is, I believe, intended to be used for auto-leveling, but not for your unit's actual starting level, so Franz stays level 1, and if you look at his growths, he is decidedly not broken fixed. Look at them, he's got 45 in strength, 55 in speed, and 50 in defense. He is insane. So I play chapter 1 the slow way to give Franz as much experience as possible. And that's a lot, because he gets 30 per chip and 50 per kill, so he levels up extremely quickly. What's more, because of that insane 50% growth, he is turning into a real tank. I also support grind Sector, Eirika and Franz with each other to make them all even tankier. All their affinities give attack and defense, so once their little triangle is complete, Eirika and Franz will have +2 and +3 in each, depending on who takes a support with Sector. Sector, meanwhile, is going to have +5 since he supports them both. You might think this support grind is a bit overkill, but if you saw what this hack is going to have in store for us in terms of enemy stats, I think you would understand my level of preparation. In Chapter 2, we get 4 new units, but once again, half of them are completely unchanged, and so we can just ignore them. Ross, however, is now Dart, with Ross's old color scheme, and for that we will call him DOS. So I'm gonna be real, I have never learned how to insert portraits the old-fashioned way. I could probably figure it out now in 2024 using FE Builder, but back then this was something way beyond me, so for that alone, this creator is capable of more than I am. That said, DOS's mouth doesn't move when he talks, and it's kind of creepy. Gameplay-wise, DOS's growths are supposed to be the best of Dart and Ross, meaning he has Dart's good 60% speed and his own strength, except Dart has the better strength growth between the two, so I don't know what's going on here. Either way, these are his final growths, and they're really good, so we're using him. Garcia was also changed, but he is an Armor Knight for some reason. At first I thought this was to accommodate the Armor Knight's triangle attack that's supposed to be in this game, but nope, that one is between 3 other units. He's just an Armor Knight. It's like having 2 Gilliams. Is 2 Gilliams better than 1? I don't think so. One of my Patrons speculated that it might be because Garcia was a Knight of Renee, and that's, I guess, also my best guess. He does have an 80% defense growth, while Gilliam only has 55, so there's that, I guess. The weapon he comes with is the Bright Lance, which is not in vanilla FE8, so you might not know what it does. It's basically a slightly better Iron Lance that's got monster effectiveness. During the early game, we're also getting the Shadow Killer, the Beacon Bow, and the Fiend Cleaver, which are all the same concept. We're also being drip-fed each weapon's respective poison weapon, which are enemy only in vanilla. I don't know any particular reason why we're getting these, but we are. Anyway, I give as much XP as I can to Franz, DOS, and Eirika in these first few maps because they seem like my best bets. In Chapter 3, Nami and Colm are unchanged, and in Chapter 4, there's only some minor things to address. So, in this hack, there are some changes to magic. According to the patch notes, light magic lighter, anima magic heavier, but also magic units will have better con. The end result is that Lute ends up being basically the same because her fire magic still weighs her down by 1, and Artur is still not being weighed down by light magic. What's more important is that enemy resistance gets out of control later on, by which I mean soon, to the point where magic units are basically unusable, but maybe there's hope because there's this change, making dark magic so that people will want to use it, and unnerfing Luna, whatever that means. For now though, the only tangible difference in Chapter 4 is that we see Renak in La Rochelle's entourage, and he's changed to Nurgle, clearly a sign of someone wanting to use that dark magic. But other than that, monsters are still super weak, and we have the monster effective weapons mentioned before. Don't worry though, because this game is about to get much harder. As anyone who has ever played with a unit randomizer knows, if you up their enemy growths by even just a little bit, the game gets much harder way too quickly, and we're going to really see that starting in chapters 5 and 6. Now after chapter 4, I can promote DOS. According to the patch notes, Super Trainee has awesome caps, so I scam myself out of a good promotion bonus and have him go the Super Trainee route. This way, he gets 0 constitution on promotion, meaning he is doomed to lose speed from even a basic Iron Axe for the rest of his life, but I'm sure those super high stat caps will come in handy later on. Into chapter 5, we recruit Natasha, who according to the patch notes is supposed to be a wyvern, but this is clearly not a wyvern. I watched the cutscene to see if he changed the wrong instance of her, and I do catch her being a Renavant. and what seems to be fog of war emitting from the villain conversation. And I see Wrath. It all makes sense now. So remember when I said the game was about to get much harder? Check out this soldier. Base level loot does a massive 2 damage to him. McCartney, a level 4 generic brigand boss, has 11 speed, so he ends up being about as fast as base Sector. Anyway, while most vanilla units kind of struggle, Franz is snowballing so hard it barely matters how strong the enemies are. He can never die, but he still gains experience like he's a trainee. He is legit going to hit level 20 before we even get the first Night Crest, and not even trying that hard.
That man has soldiers orbiting around him in a gravitational force.
In Chapter 5X, everything is just like vanilla, except Orson, who supposedly is a correctly colored Hector, but he isn't. Nothing about his data has been changed. You might think that makes 5X a very boring and uneventful chapter, and it was, but there was a twist at the end. This is Zonta. Can you tell what has been changed? Man, when the early game chapter bosses are much harder, I didn't think he meant 30 lock bosses on thrones. Very cool, thank you Encryption. Chapter 6 is the first hard chapter in the game. My favorite way of showing that is having Sector fight one generic cavalier and just looking at the numbers. The only way I can beat this chapter is by undeploying almost everyone, having Franz and Eirika distract the scary cavalier reinforcements from the back, and having Sector creep his way over to Novala to kill him. I did notice one funny thing though. I sent Vanessa over to block the spider from getting the NPC family, and you know how every time the spider comes closer, the child would get more and more scared? Turns out that event starts based on the spider ending his turn on specific tiles and it does not expire. So if the spider is blocked by Vanessa like here, he activates the same event over and over and the child just keeps screaming in poor Vanessa's ears. For the record, I don't think that is an encryption thing, I think this is just how FE8 was made. Now chapter 7 is just mostly easy experience, but it does get me an energy ring stolen by Colm, and we're getting the first Night Crest by the end of it. With that, I thought we were going to get the options to promote Franz into either a Knight or a Cavalier, or maybe their promoted versions. What I was not ready for was this choice.
Even gonna get a choice, yeah. Maybe fuck it up.
There's a choice.
There is a choice.
Wyvern!
Yo!
Yo!
Oh yeah. Get him a Wyvern now. You have a nice unit.
That seems a bit good.
That doesn't mean he won't like Juggernaut like groups with bows as much, but maybe with his defense he's fine.
I was gonna say
Oh,
his
no,
defense
he's
might
wonderful.
not make it matter.
He's having a wonderful time.
What if he can
He's
go
a
And you know
Wyvern.
what?
What
Promo
the-
gains.
Yo,
4
Balance.
con? He got like 7 speed off that.
broken
And
fix.
Guess what? There's an Elijah whip this chapter. Just
Oh,
get him,
true.
Get him to 10.
Yeah.
Get him to 10 right now.
The voices you heard alongside mine are my very generous supporters on Patreon, who not only support me financially so I can spend my day playing these games, but also chill in our exclusive Patreon chat on Discord and hang out for playing board games every Sunday night. Thank you for your company and support. Not that he really needed it with these stats, but this promotion set Franz's level back to 1, but now he's in a regular class, so he still gains XP like crazy. I cannot stress enough how broken Franz is. The gap between him and my other units was just so massive, especially when he's in the support range of Sector. Most of my units can barely 1v1 anything, especially not these super soldiers, but Franz just obliterates everything and takes single digit if not 0 damage, has like twice as much HP, and still grows faster than all of them. The only really hard part about chapter 8 was keeping Ephraim alive, since bro was so much weaker than the enemies around him, including all the super soldiers. I did my best to rush my units towards this group, Unfortunately, and I swear this is an accident, I got Ford killed by the enemies nearby. I wanted to reset to get his gear back, but it was my patrons who convinced me not to. Why are you looking at me like that? After chapter 8, it's time for the route split. I chose Eirika route partially because my Eirika was just way better than my Ephraim, partially because I thought there would be less annoying roadblocks in Eirika route, the inflated enemy stats, and partially because I wanted to see what the chapter 9 sniper looked like. As a reminder, this is what a sniper normally looks like in FE Builder. Notice how the growths are mostly in the 20s and 30s. Now let's look at what encryption has done with it. Remember, when people boost enemy growth to challenge themselves, they will usually do 10% for a fun time, 20% for a really challenging time, and 30% to make themselves cry. Sniper Bro here has plus 20% HP, plus 45 strength, plus 70 skill, plus 75 speed, plus 45 defense, and plus 30% res for all his auto levels. And the result is this.
No
I
way.
doubt it.
Oh my!
Oh my lord.
I think Franz has met his match.
And that, my friends, one-rounds my entire team, including Franz and Sector. And on top of all that, snipers have a crit boost, because of course they do. Now, as I was preparing to work out my plan for the chapter, we noticed something else.
Everyone said FE8 was too easy.
Not this
What?
version.
What? Are you kidding?
Why?
Wait, plus 7 con from what?
I think it's
Wow,
just
that's
happens
pretty
to be given by
No,
ironic.
it's just
5.
the game
This has to
breaking,
be-
yeah. The game doesn't know what to do with above 28 con and just give...
I don't think there's any
Conquest
stealables here besides the Speedwing.
I would still bring him because you need people to surround the sniper.
True.
Yeah.
He has more move than most people, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
the strat really is surrounded.
Grace.
what?
Hey,
Grace.
I
Sorry?
think we found.
Lord?
I do have 17
one.
speed.
Wait, what?
They give her
What?
Eirika class.
Holy shit, it's level 12 average Eirika.
Wait, give that looter braid to Eirika
Yeah,
right now.
that's not
I want to see
You
it.
use this. Oh, yeah, you have one. Damn. Alright. Okay.
You know, pass
Promote her. Promote your Eirika.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We have a,
Okay.
we have a
Oh,
second
it just
Eric.
works? Okay. No
Queen,
choices.
it's gonna be a massive promo game. It's gonna be Queen.
But won't she like auto-promote into the wrong... What?
What?
She
What?
went back
No.
No, I think this
Fuck
is just his solution for making Queen work.
Uh-huh.
Queen.
Yes, queen.
Oh, no, she...
Wait, does she still
Oh,
get
she's
doubled by
one
the
speed
sniper?
off, unfortunately.
No, she's not. 26, right?
No.
He has steel
Oh, look, he gets way down. He gets way down. Yeah.
He gets way
Oh,
down.
I
Go
forgot.
base.
There you go. There's a
I
solution.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
look, there's the Queen icon.
Question, does Eirika get weighed down by any of her weapons?
Not these.
Not anymore, no.
Okay.
6 con is pretty good. No con.
Okay.
He still gets 2 shot.
Yes.
9
Yes,
move,
9
though.
move.
9 move.
Yeah, they have...
Nine move.
And now we have someone who survives the sniper. I decided to hold off on promoting her for now and farm some experience near the start of the map. Franz was tasked with flying over the sea to secure Amelia and the left village, while Vanessa took care of the bottom village. Needless to say, Franz destroyed everything in sight, albeit not always in one round, and was able to ship Amelia off to Vanessa. Then I decided to have Franz return to the main group to help with the ridiculous sniper. Hilariously enough, both of Franz's promotion options were buffed too. Wyvern Lord gave no speed, but it gave swords and bows, and not just regular swords, but B-rank swords. Wyvern Knight, on the other hand, gave him C-rank axes and also +3 speed. Since enemies are going to be really fast in this, I decided to roll with Wyvern Knight. This hilariously let him survive the sniper, and I quickly surrounded and grinded on him. I also killed the Killing Edge Myrmidon, who now drops a Juna fruit. I mean, some Juna fruit. An unused item that drops your level by some unknown amount, which I will save for later. After the pressure was off, I promoted Eirika for realsies. Now she has an insane 25 speed, 9 movement, and this class also counts as unpromoted, so she grew very, very fast. Part of that XP gain is because she has Oko, or Silencer, which not only does what it says on the tin, but also doubles her XP gain whenever she procs it. So she grows as fast as Amelia. Speaking of her, we had high hopes for Amelia since she is a soldier just like Franz, so I grinded her up on non-aggressive enemies. Unfortunately, she level capped at 10 and did not promote automatically, meaning she would have to wait for the next Night Crest. Also, why is Grotto in Fog of War? Overflow into it, but at some point I need to make dinner. That's Fog of War, look. Look at the top left.
Oh yeah. Somebody here has a magic seal or something like that.
No.
Hey, the fog is gone. The next few chapters are not going to be very difficult due to how overpowered my carries are. Chapter 10's new recruits are largely unchanged. Tethys has C-rank staves now, which is kind of silly since you can usually just dance for a staff user and have them do the staff action. I have Franz fly down to her group and help save them for the stronger enemies. This does trigger Marissa into moving, and I was planning on recruiting her and finding the reinforcements that spawn, but she had other plans. Well, at least DOS had a pretty good grinding opportunity against the Brigands. Before promoting, I wanted DOS to have a shot at fighting in the arena. If everything about this hack so far doesn't tell you that this was a bad idea, the high wages certainly should. In the end, I found some shamans he could sort of fight, since shamans for some reason didn't get the massive enemy growth that most other classes enjoy. Over the course of the last few maps, DOS has sort of recovered his bad speed and gotten to 17, but given how fast enemies are, I'm not even sure that's going to be enough. I give him his well-earned promotion to Super Trainee. This promo gain was fine, but the funniest part was the insanely high strength cap of at least 31. But unfortunately he got no crit bonus, so I spent the whole game lamenting this promo path choice. In chapter 11 we get La Rochelle and Dazla. La Rochelle is completely unchanged except...
Oh, it's
Oh, I
Con.
knew it.
Oh, this man's Con obsession, I swear to God.
Dazla was changed to a warrior and nerfed? His speed is even worse than in vanilla, and I don't understand why. The class change alone does not explain that, so I think the maker just really disliked Dazla for some reason. Nothing else of note really happened here, and the same goes for chapter 12. I did train Ewan as much as possible, so that I could enjoy the changes made to dark magic for myself. Chapter 13 is Hamil Canyon, where we fight Ayas. And if we don't hurry up, we also fight Wrath. And if we really don't hurry up, we also fight Pablo. The biggest threat in this map were the rangers surrounding Ayas, since they all have maxed out skill and speed, high move, range attacks, and effective damage on Franz. Since I had to wait for reinforcements anyway, I just dug in and baited them slowly. It is worth highlighting just how good Eirika is now. She has 9 move, she now has 30 speed thanks to her accelerated growth, and the rapier is triple effective against most enemies on the right side of this map.
Why can't the whole army just be Eirika?
I keep forgetting that Cormac is now Wrath. This change is literally just his name, palette, and portrait, but hey, he is Wrath.
X'd out.
Pablo's reinforcements arrive, and Pablo's stats were largely unchanged, but he does move with a bolting tome, which is a threat to my weaker units. Meanwhile, the warrior was of course stupidly overpowered, but he is the only one in that army that we have to kill, and we have to do it after baiting him into using a hand axe. This took a lot of trial and error due to the stupid enemy move order or other stupid things, but in the end we got him and Ayas in one turn. With the death of Ayas, we finally have a Nightcrest, so we can promote Amelia. Fortunately, she did have the same broken class path as Franz, now giving me a second Wyvern to work with. She is still underleveled, but she can withstand 1 or 2 hits. I also have 1,000,000 stat boosters in my convoy I can give her, if I so desire to. In chapter 14, we have to hurry up to save another NPC. I think I liked her better in the Binding Blade. I opened the room to find another FE7 fan favorite inside.
Nurgle, what are you doing
Aha.
here?
Hi, Nurgle.
Oh my god,
Your
his face.
face.
What's going on with his face?
He's practiced his ways of dark magic.
I took some time to train the trainees, so the map lasted like an hour, even though it wasn't that difficult. Carlisle was effective against Franz, but not effective enough to actually beat him in a 1v1. I went shopping at the secret shop to get some better weaponry and physics staffs to help out in the upcoming chapters, and also I get the Excalibur and Altholma, whose names actually make sense in this version, unlike in vanilla FE8. Come on, Johanna, how do you have a legendary sword and a legendary tome, and the tome is the one you call Excalibur? At this point, we're starting to see tons of promoted enemies, and capped stats were no longer an exception. This made chapter 15 even more of a slow and tedious affair than it usually is, because I need to keep these super busted enemies away from my support units. The only other notable thing about this chapter was that the Master Seal somehow has 2 uses, which is one of the changes of all time.
Oh,
Yeah, the 2-use Master Seal. We arrive at chapter 16. I gave some Juna fruit to Eirika so she can get more of these sweet devils as a queen, since technically some of her stats are not green yet. I do some other micromanagements and feeding and stuff, but none of it matters because we have Myrrh now. If you thought the Eirika favoritism was outrageous, check this girl out. Myrrh now has bigger stat increases, her Dragonstone has infinite uses, and it hits twice like a brave weapon. She melts everything ever. And of course, she still grows fast with the insane growth rates. I cannot emphasize enough how much Myrrh breaks the game. If Franz was quadruple S tier, Myrrh is like a snake pit S tier. Absolutely nothing can stop her. The only thing she can't do is counter at 2 range, but it's not like it matters. For the rest of this playthrough, I can point Myrrh at a section of the map, and by the end of the turn it will be dealt with. No questions asked. The game is over. It makes you wonder what the heck the developer was thinking. Maybe this was intended as a unit to help him playtest the hardest section, like a debugging unit, but some changes make you question whether playtesting was something he did at all. Anyway, that is not going to stop me from messing around with my other units and having some fun. So, Amelia has promoted now to Wyvern Lord, and all her animations look like she is holding a magic sword. Half of these Great Knights cannot use their weapons, which made training Tana really easy. After chapter 16 was over, I had the option to have Eirika and Ephraim promote through a story event. I made a save state to see what would happen, and the answer was nothing interesting, but by refusing to promote, I got access to another Lunar Brace, and that would let Tana promote. Ephraim wasn't quite at level 20 yet, so I trained him in the Tower of Volney for a bit, which I imagine must have been very humiliating for him, since usually that's where you bring scrubs like Marissa and Amelia. But after that, I promoted him to Pontifex, which has a plus 15% crit bonus and 9 movement. However, to balance it out, note that it has much lower con. Broken fixed. The real promotion event though, I think I should just show you.
Yeah, it's confused.
I'll just 6 not nice.
Just that's what I
Oh wait, I know why she uses Hero Crest because all the M classes.
Demon
what?
King!
Okay, so-
Demon King.
Do not pick that
Game doesn't like.
Do not touch that.
Game really
I've tried
didn't
this
like.
before. I've tried this, but I cannot make people promote it to Demon King.
But
Not without a fucking
I-
animation.
That's literally what I did the first time I played. I know for 100% sure I used Demon King Myrrh.
It's
Oh fuck.
no,
Oh,
fuck.
no.
I've seen it happen.
I don't
but
think
not
Myrrh
with the
promotes
selection
anymore.
screen. Not with the selection screen.
I don't think she does that anymore.
How about this?
Oh yeah, because it's a stats maybe.
Hey!
Yeah, it's the same- it's just the stats.
Hey!
Holy shit, Demon
Okay.
King's left leg. Or the
You want
Draco
left
head.
leg
What are
or
we
zombie head?
So the Demon King is just he's the Demon King. It's cool as fuck. And the Draco Zombie has Oko, lethality, fucking crit boost, and 80 caps. No joke.
Oh, it has an
It's like,
animation?
why? I've turned Myrrh into what?
Of course it has lethality.
Big bad.
We
Now a
killed
dead
the
head.
child out back and her demons.
That's thick.
We're back
I
to
think-
con!
It's just con, but the caps. Look how big the caps. Look how small the numbers.
But like, what does it
Alright.
matter? You're not gonna
No,
reach
80.
those.
Because she has Draco caps. Draco Zombie caps.
You are
She's not even
never
gonna reach
those.
those.
Yeah, no, she never.
all
She
the
has
way
lethality
back
and
to
Oko,
con.
but you can do monsters with the other ones. More fun.
Lethality and Oko are the same thing, aren't they?
No, the lethality and crit boost. My bad, not Oko. Yeah, it's lethality and crit boost.
Yeah.
And this is just the Demon King's
This is
left
hilarious. Oh
Thigh.
wow!
Actually, no, it's not even that.
Oh!
Nothing.
Does it
Less
give?
than.
No,
Less
I
than.
wish any of them gave promotion bonuses.
It's the worst you did. Get out
I
of
mean,
here.
it's massive on the map.
Look at the
but
move.
it's
icon.
funny.
Look at the move.
Bro, the icon.
Oh no!
So, do we want a unit that can move or a unit that can't move?
Let me show this. This is really funny.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Can Myrrh even use her Dragonstone if she goes?
Dragonstone is
you
a monster
can.
weapon.
Look at
yes.
him in the deployment screen.
Yeah.
Myrrh.
It's there. That's it.
No,
Where's
Amelia.
Amelia?
So big, you're gonna cover up the units. Over.
Punch? Do you have punch?
Yes.
Punch.
Please tell me they put punch in.
It's just a punch.
Yes!
Get him.
Yes!
82 damage punch, by the way.
Punch.
82
Monster
damage.
effectiveness. Just... Oh, it's me. Fomortiis, god of death. Destruction. Oh, I feel so much better.
So much better. Now watch this.
He's gonna summon enemies randomly. Yeah.
Please.
It's not randomly, it's in the pattern of
Oh, I
randomly.
realized why Draco Zombie got buffed because they had to justify reverting from it.
So every time you use
Free
Demon
XP.
King, you have to not accidentally hit that button.
Yeah, free XP.
It is free XP, that's true.
Horrible. You can see what a Gorgon looks like.
Free.
Oh my god.
Good.
Free
Wait,
question
Wait, I
mark.
didn't realize.
Free
What
XP.
It's
Alright.
okay.
Alright. Alright.
Okay.
How
Alright.
about some
I
free
didn't realize they were
experience?
enemies. Wait.
Oh my god,
That's
we're gonna see
not
what the
good
final map
summons.
looks like at least.
Yeah,
God damn.
we get some free
Oh
experience real
my
quick.
God.
Oh, goodness.
I
Yeah,
am
that's
laughing so
horrifying.
hard.
In conclusion,
Alright. No,
Check it
okay.
out.
Like,
I think we get some more
Nope,
stats
the-
first.
collectively,
Wait, you gotta get rid of
please.
get the
Stone.
stats first. Mostly, yeah, take the stone off. It doesn't
Yeah.
rape everyone.
Everybody, listen. We gotta apologize to the creator of this hack, okay? They're genius.
It's all- I mean,
No, yeah,
I think this is
figured it
literally what
out.
happens if you change nothing except like what you need to make it work. In chapter 17, the most noteworthy thing was the enemy Wyvern Lord having a massive radius around him. Turns out that those cutscenes in Grotto with the Fog of War were actually Glenn's Wyvern Lord class casting a magic seal all around him. Just like FE7 Kishuna, this shuts off all magic and stats within a 10-tile radius. Very goofy. I made him shut off Leon before killing him with Myrrh. Cyrene, Grunia, is very funny. Supposedly, she has Falcon Knight bases but growths that surpass Myrrh and even Corel. However, her bases seemed identical to her FE8 self, so I got a bit scared that her growth remained unchanged. They were definitely not unchanged. I'd be more impressed if I did not already have a flyer with capped stats running around, but I do, and he's not even one-rounding enemies anymore. She was still fun to train though. I gave her as many 50 experience Gorgon eggs in chapter 18 as I reasonably could. At the end of chapter 17, we're given the Nidhogg and Vidofnir, both of which were buffed. Vidofnir now has 20 might, which is 5 more than it used to, and it has 1-2 range for easy enemy phase sweeps. Nidhogg has 21 might and a massive 2-3 range. Both weapons also had their number of uses increased to 35. In fact, I think all Sacred Twins were buffed in some way, but Myrrh's Dragonstone kind of overshadows them. Still, I went back to the Tower of Valny and trained Amelia's bow rank just so she could use the Nidhogg. This was made easier by the classic 2000s ROM hacking tradition of giving short bows 1-2 range. Nice animations there. Since there's not much to say about chapter 18, except that the enemies were insanely strong but my units were insanely stronger, we can move on to chapter 19. Unfortunately, the Pontifex was not as much of a chat as our Pontifex Ephraim, so we still had to defend him. His friend the General had 30 defense though. I decided to mostly play the chapter straight and direct Myrrh to the north to keep the enemies busy there. In the south, I choked the choke point for as long as I could while waiting for my units to collect the chests on either side. Whee! We did it. He's dead.
Nice.
Riev proved to be rather difficult to kill in one round, so the warp skip method was not as trivial as it usually is, but with the help of expert strategizing, we got it done. In chapter 20, Riev is framed as evil for turning a Manakete into a Draco zombie, not knowing we have done the same thing. Mine kills his on turn 1 thanks to a warp, but he still brags about his for some reason. My other units still struggle to one-round generic white with their Sacred Twins, by the way. Another rescue dance warp sequence later and we have seized chapter 20. If that felt short, it's because it was. Final chapter. Let's check out the only things on the map that I am afraid of.
They shouldn't be as threatening as you think.
You
never
were
mind.
saying?
Okay.
Not threatening?
Listen, the calculator lied. Okay. that is
They
not-
they were
that's not
buffed.
very
Did you
threat-
not know? Did you not know the Draco zombies were buffed this whole time? Yeah, I play tested this chapter.
80,
It was a
80
pretty good
defense,
time.
69 west, nice, and 58 speed.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
We gotta
Wow.
need that unit.
We'll do it without
gotta
Myrrh. It's
need-
fine.
Little bro.
It's fine.
What if we just do it again?
Do it again.
How much
How
do that?
much?
Hi.
Oh, that is still technically killable.
It's
just
crit.
What if you
She's
crit?
not
What if you
gonna
crit
crit.
though? What if you crit though? What if you crit? What if you crit
What if you
though?
don't?
No, she missed.
Yeah, that's not good. One of my patrons actually figured out a couple of ways to beat these things after the fact. It only required building half the playthrough around setting it up. But yeah, we're not doing this today. Go, Gadget Warp Staff. Bye, Leon. If the Draco Zombies are this strong, the Demon King is going to be insane. According to the patch notes, he is much harder. And if you looked at my unit forecast, he does look really strong. Goodbye.
He decided.
Just like in any other Docarri ones, getting a pure crit on Fomortiis.
Good
That
unit.
was the
That
Draco
was-
Zombies.
It was a little bit
That
anticlimactic.
truly was the hack of all time.
And thus concludes one of the hacks of all time. It was truly an experience. In a time where we have some of the most polished projects, it's very easy to forget that this all started with the clumsy kind of edits that you can see in this hack. Occasionally, while playing this, I found myself wondering what the heck the idea behind some of the changes were. Clearly, this is supposed to be an attempt at both balancing the cast as well as making it more difficult, but due to a lack of playtesting and understanding by the maker, it turns into this wild ride of units that are either completely busted or absolutely useless. But to me, that's kind of the charm of it. This hack is a trip back in time, not just in terms of using outdated tools for hacking, but also of outdated ideas about balancing and increasing difficulty. The game has some buffs for units that are generally considered weak, such as Marissa, Cyrene, Amelia, and Ewan, and it seems to at least have made an attempt to broken fix Seth that didn't work, but the intention is clear. I'm not sure what the intention was of buffing units like Franz and Myrrh. Encryption 20, I'm sure you're in your Encryption 30s or even 40s right now. If you're out here, please let me know. I'm super curious. And thank you for making this. I really enjoyed playing it all these years ago, and I had a blast revisiting it. For the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun side project that I spent way too much time on. I accelerated my process of making this as the end of the year approached, hoping to have it finished for Christmas, only to catch a last-minute injury. But I wasn't worried because, well, I was worried for a bit, but thankfully the funding of my generous patrons made it easy for me to just hire an editor to help finish the job. So thank you to Plasmaster for jumping in on short notice, and an especially huge shout out to Grexius, Hannah, Modi, Dultimate, Blue William, McAllis, Xander, and Landstrike for hanging out in VC to watch me play this. And you know I gotta give an especially big thanks to my S tier patrons Dustin Smith, Safi Senjo, Cold Cookie, Thick Molder, Modi, oh, why are you on here twice? That's odd. D, Schmeep, Ark Holds, Ben Dion, Blue Caterade, Boots42, Scott Mitchell, you all are the best.
Yeah.
No!
Oh, that's bad.
That's very
That's
bad.
very
Can't get that back.
Oh, he doesn't even drop it, fucking asshole.
You can't get that back.